Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people.
Good morning and welcome to today's edition of your Good Governance and Public Accountability Program on the network service of Radio Nigeria. Have your say. I'll be your guide in the next one hour on the program. Stay with us. Welcome on board. Back soon, even as the COVID-19 pandemic.
Wishing you and our audience the best health and safety during this pandemic. I started my career as a network engineer with Galaxy Backbone. I'm a kind of person that hates doing routine things on 9 to 5 basis.
Okay, 9 to 5 basis. Let's just hold your thought. Come back to some of these issues later. We just wanted to taste the waters of your personality first. So, enable all the callers and for our guests to respond. Here, there are no preferential treatment. We take calls as they come. So, welcome on board. Now, just to finish what you were talking about your personality, can you just conclude on that?
Okay. I hate doing 9 to 5 routine. I always like exploring new things. So as a network engineer working for an organization that provides services to customers, we always go to our customer side and try to make them use the technology better. So I found myself in that situation trying to help people use technology. On the process, I realized that the challenge mostly is not about the technology, but it's about the business process. It's not about getting the best technology, but about putting the best technology in the right place with the right process and the right people in place. Therefore, I start exploring new things in the field of the technology. I found the solution architecture as an excellent innovation that I can use to advance my career. So from there, I diversify from the networking into the solution architecture, working as a solution architecture with Galaxy Backbone. Then I got an offer with the CBN, the Central Bank of Nigeria, to work as a technology architect.
Okay.
So as a technology architect, I was responsible for design technology for the bank to provide services, internal services, and to its customers as well.
Okay, indeed, we'll say a square peg in a square hole. Now, COVID-19 has been here in the world in the last 6 months. So many things have changed. Things are still going to change even when COVID-19 has moved on. Now, ICT is at the center of the crusade to see how this problem can be solved so that the world can carry on. How would you assess the level of information dissemination within this time of the pandemic in the country? What's your opinion? What's your assessment of the situation presently?
I think we are recovering from the crisis mode. If you remember, 2019 ended in a pretty solid shape. We celebrated the new year with a great hope. The new year and the new decade is going to be fantastic, looking at how 2019 ended. But just suddenly, we found ourselves into this crisis. Everything has turned upside down. So, but with the level of the kind of technology we have in place, the infrastructure, we are able to create some sense of stability and start getting our life back up and running, but using technology. What it means, imagine being in this crisis without digital technology. The thing would have been totally different. But with the help of the digital technology, things are coming back slowly. So for me, there is a hidden opportunity in this crisis. What I have learned from is the crisis is accelerating trends shaping the future of digital technology or digital economy in general. So,
Carry on.
as a nation, we have started building the infrastructure, and if you remember, on the 28th November of our platform, and we use this digital technology even for the launching, something you can make money out of it. Why should you waste your time sharing fake news? You can use your followership on Facebook and Twitter and can get a good life from the online, and also it is helping us to make some of the drawbacks of the online lives to be less disturbing, because people now are embracing the digital technology. As of January this year, Zoom has only 10 million users, but as of today, it has more than 200 million.
Wow.
So you can see people are embracing it for the good. So we have a duty to enlighten our people to use this technology good good part of it, so they can use it meaningfully and make something out of it instead of using it for sharing fake news.
Okay. Now let's look at the issue of governance, aided by ICT, um, equipment, hardware, software, and so on. At some stage of the stay-at-home order, civil servants were asked to work from home, and of course, working from home will require some of these things to be on ground. Are there some form of support that provided so that civil servants can efficiently make their input to governance from home?
I think just few days after the lockdown order, our minister, the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, directed Galaxy Backbone to activate most of its infrastructure deployed in the country for civil servants to work from home. So, apart from that, they have set up a lot of things, and like last week, the minister talked about the federal government is working on starting virtual fake meeting as well. So you can see a lot of the top government officials, they already have the infrastructure in place. While at NIDA, as part of our strategic priority, we deploy intervention in terms of IT infrastructure, but mostly we focus more on helping unserved and underserved communities. We deployed a lot of infrastructure in schools, universities, secondary schools, and community, so that they can be able to access these digital services. In addition to that, during this lockdown, we have been doing a lot, like I talked about, launching the virtual learning program, and also today we are doing our open demo day. We call it Nigeria COVID Innovation Challenge. It's a process whereby we'll try and get our talented youths to come up with ideas that can help us contain this virus and also help us prepare for the post-COVID era. So all this, we are providing the infrastructure, we provide some seed fund, we also train our citizens on how to use the technology. Like recently, we trained a lot of youths, artisans. We've continued working. We were doing it remotely. Like we did the startup KB during the lockdown, and also we did startup Abuja during the lockdown. So we train them, we mentor them, and we provide digital tools for them, like iPads and in some cases laptops.
Okay, let me quickly announce you can also join us on Have Your Say HYS, that is on YouTube, which is one word, Have Your Say HYS. That is for those who might want to join us on YouTube. Back to you, Director General Nitida. Let's look at the cost of hardware and software. We know that with this training for the youth on how to leverage on ICT to run businesses and so on, they need to have a certain hardware and software on ground. For instance, laptops, desktop computers, and one or two other softwares that aid what they do. How feasible is this in terms of the cost of these items in order to make them efficient online?
In 2017, when the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, was the Director General of NIDA, and I was his technical assistant. The agency came up with a strategy. The strategy is a 4-year strategy, 2017 to 2020, and it has 7 strategic pillars. Firstly is regulation. The regulation is to create the enabling environment. This enabling environment cut across unlocking opportunities on software development and hardware manufacturing in Nigeria. Then we have the capacity building, where we train people, we empower them with the tools like laptops, like tablets and phones and so on. Then we have the government digital services, because the idea, after regulating, creating the enabling environment, the next thing is to provide the market space for them. So in Nigeria, we have the market and we have a competitive age. Our population is our competitive age. We have one of the youngest population in the world. Over 60% of our population are beyond 30. That means mostly they are digitally native, so they can easily understand and use these digital technologies. So also the 4th strategy is about local content. How can we encourage governments and private sector patronize the made in Nigeria product in terms of hardware and software? And we use it to enforce. We use one of our regulatory instruments, the IT clearance, to enforce it. Because our mandate empowers us that all government IT projects should be cleared by NIDA before execution. So during that IT clearance, we make sure there is level of local content based on the Executive Order 003 that talks about at least 40%. And also in some cases whereby we can have local product that will meet that specification 100%. We enforce that, our people patronize it. So what the government has been doing is helping the country at this moment. Look at it now. The global supply chain is disrupted. You cannot import things from other countries the way it is. So people has to fall back to what you can do within your country. So if you look at it, our border closure before is helping us in terms of food production. Likewise, the executive order on local content also is helping us in terms of producing the kind of technology we need to use locally. And also as a government under our ministry and NIDA as well, we are coming up with initiatives engaging the ecosystem, challenging them to come up with ideas that can help solve our problem locally and maybe even for global market as well.
That, in view of what the minister usually says, global, if I'm correct.
Yes, global, maintain globally but implemented locally. You think what work outside the country, then marry it with our law. We encourage other government agencies like NYSC, how we can partner together so that they can buy for their youth corpus. They can buy, we can produce a robust local content. And we also make sure they comply before we clear any project.
Okay. If you're just joining us, the program is Have Your Say, coming to you live on the network service of Radio Nigeria. And it's now time for us to go for a short break. Stay with us. When we come back, we'll look at other issues such as internet fraud. We'll be right back.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
The National Center for Disease Control has informed me that a large proportion of new infections are now occurring in our communities through person-to-person contacts. So we must pay attention to the danger of close contact between person to person. At this point, I will remind all Nigerians to continue to take responsibility for the recommended measures to prevent transmission, including maintaining physical distancing, good personal hygiene, and staying at home.
Hey, Yamala, stop sneezing all over the place. Use your inner elbow for cover when sneezing. And can you please go and wash your hands with soap and water now?
Please leave me alone. Did you see me clean my hands with tissue?
That's not enough. We need to observe proper hygiene. Wash your hands up to your elbows, wipe with a clean towel, and sanitize your hands with a good sanitizer.
But I've washed my hands up to 5 times. And it's not even noon yet. I'm getting tired of it.
No, don't be tired. You must always keep washing your hands and sanitize them. Tidy up your space and room. Always flush toilets after use. Then wash your hands again. Remember, coronavirus is a pandemic that does not recognize whether we are young or old.
Okay. Let me go and wash my hands now and use the new sanitizer Mom just bought.
This message is a public enlightenment campaign from Radio Nigeria.
Let's have some peace. Nigerians are peace-loving and hard-working people.
And countries only develop and grow when there is peace and stability.
There are different kinds of problems in every society, and so in every country.
If there are problems here, Nigeria is not an exception.
There is no society, no country where violence and public disorder has solved a problem.
No matter the problem, no matter the issue.
Let us sit down like brothers and sisters. Use dialogue to resolve the problems.
Remember, you have to give account of every action you take, if not here on earth, then before your creator.
Please let us work together for a peaceful Nigeria. Let us work together. Nigeria will be great.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Yes, if you're just joining us once again, the program is Have Your Say, coming to you live on the network service of Radio Nigeria. And in the last 28 minutes or so, we've been discussing with the Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency in person of Mr. Kashifu Inua Abdullahi, a technocrat who has proven his mettle in the public and private sector indeed. It's now time for us to hear from Nigerians, and we've been discussing on how to leverage on ICT even in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. The lines to call are 0807 622 6771. Once again, 0807 622 6771. The second line is 0705 149 3324. Once again, 0705 149 3324. Yes, we have a first caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Yes,
my name is Chief Fidel Onyeneke, and I'm calling from Owerri in Imo State.
Yes, good morning, Chief Fidel. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
We are really bothered about the high cost of both software and hardware in information technology. That is why most Nigerians cannot afford this. And to worsen the whole thing, under this pandemic, cost of data, especially for use to be used by both students and other Nigerians, the cost has remained very high. I want to urge the federal government to find a way of directing service providers to reduce the cost of having data. And if possible, let federal government also find a way of issuing software and hardware to Nigerians at subsidized rates, since the intent now is ICT. Above all, there is urgent need to also regulate the use of social media in order to stop this issue of fake news and so on. All those found guilty in this direction must be appropriately sanctioned. Thank you and God bless you. I am Chief Fidel Onyeneke.
All right, thank you very much, Chief Fidel. Hello? Hello? We have another caller. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Yes, good morning. You need to speak a bit louder so that we can hear you clearly. Oh yeah, Ovuna Declan, please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to thank the doctor for coming up here to explain to us all about ICT. But there is what the doctor says, that they have been training people. I just want to know whether my own state is among of the place they are training people concerning ICT.
Oh.
And also I'm using the opportunity to call on the federal and state government to ensure that these ICT were carried to our primary and secondary schools so that our children will know how to operate the system and equally develop all these gadgets so that we will not be moving outside the country to buy any of this. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Ovuna Dickland. I'm sure the DJ will respond, but let's take a few more calls first then, as we take notes. Hello?
Good morning.
Yes, please, your name and location, please.
My name is Samuel Chima that I'm calling you from Jos Plateau State.
Samuel Chima from Jos. Please go ahead.
Yes. You see, I want to join my voice to the last caller who said that the cost of data should be reviewed. You see, when you go to advanced countries, you use a technology called Wi-Fi, which is less expensive than what we have in Nigeria. And then when you are staying as a result of lockdown, which has been helping us as Nigerians in curtailing and the prevention of COVID-19, you see that you need data, you need information. Without information, you cannot get what is happening in other states. You don't know, you will not know how to go about doing your business. You say, I'm assuming there's no lockup, and I don't have data and I don't have radio. So how will I know a state that has been infected with this virus? So we need data. We need data. It should be made less expensive.
Right.
Because it's like we pay more higher than what other countries are paying. Why will it be so? And another thing is this, there should be enough sensitization using technology, radio and television. Thank you. I have a nice working day now.
Thank you very much, Samuel Chima from Jos. Hello, yes, I believe we have more calls. Hello? We have some. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, please, tell us who you are, where you're calling from, and go ahead.
Good morning, Daniel.
Daniel,
my name
is the name, yes.
My name is Benvico. I'm calling from Makudi.
Benvico.
From Makudi, Benue State.
Okay, go ahead, please.
You see, when...
Hello? Hello? Are you there? Benvico? Okay, it's like we lost a connection with him. Let's take the next call. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, good morning. Tell us who you are and where you're calling from.
Morning.
Yes, please.
My name is Abubakar Bashir. I'm calling from Katsina State.
Abubakar Bashir.
From Katsina State.
Okay, go ahead, please.
Yeah, my is I would like to ask a scholarship program offered by Libya.
A scholarship?
Yes, scholarship program.
Okay.
We have got an certificate 3 months back, and up till now there is no any feedback from Libya.
Oh, okay, all right.
And I have recalled that Libya can record 2019, the scholarship list of those who have succeeded to the level of interview and got the scholarship, the notes were published on May 17th at the local country. And up to now, there's nothing about it. We asked to get the notes, contact us back, and I don't know about the issue of the scholarship that is with pandemic.
Okay.
The scholarship continues, so we have something for the beneficiaries of the scholarship.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, he's hearing you. He'll respond later as the program progresses. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning. Tell us where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Watching Wisdom from River State,
Who got you from River State?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I want the federal government. Okay, I want the federal government to work.
Yes, go ahead, please. Go ahead very quickly. We don't have much time. Go ahead.
All right. I want the federal government to work on the issue of fake news. The fake news is becoming rampant and is deceiving many people because of the social media we have. So please, the federal government will help us work on the issue of fake news. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. The issue of fake news should be tackled. Okay. Let's get a response now from the DG. So many issues raised.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me start with Chief Fidel on the high cost of software and hardware. Basically, what we are doing is to encourage the indigenous software and hardware, and government is been pushing for that, and there is a lot of intervention on that and some palliative that will help. It will take time before we reach there, but we are on the course. We are on the process of getting there. We are encouraging our people. We are strengthening the ecosystem in terms of software. We don't have much issues. It's the hardware where we have little challenge, but we are working with the organization of the indigenous manufacturers of the hardware as well. We are encouraging them. Government is buying from them. Before, I think the 3 gig is around 2 point something, but now I think with 1,000 you can get close to, I think, 2.5 gig if I'm not mistaken. And also in terms of costing, it's not something that you can just say cut cost today. There are some elements you need to look into it, because the telcos, you need to sit down with them. What is the cost of producing the data itself? They are fueling gens around the countries, thousands of gen, to power the mast, the base station, for them to provide the service. So, but still, the minister is pushing for them to review it, and I know they are working on it, but based on the NCC Act, there is a process they need to follow to arrive at the agreeable cost. But if you look at it globally, Nigeria cost of data is one of the cheapest. It's among the 5 cheapest in the world.
The caller also talked about Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi seemed to be cheaper. How realistic is this?
I don't understand Wi-Fi has to be cheaper.
Okay. I think he talked about that even if the regular data is still in the same cost, that Wi-Fi can be cheaper.
Okay, because I don't think normally we provide Wi-Fi as a service in terms of internet connectivity. Mostly we get our internet from telcos.
Okay.
Yeah, so except if you have a broadband connectivity from other providers, maybe.
Okay. Abubakar Bashat from Katsina State talked about an application for a scholarship. He's yet to get a response from
Yes, we have finished everything on the scholarship. We were about to call them for the final stage when this pandemic hit. So now everything, the schools are closed, and we cannot call them at this moment because of the social distances. So they should wait till the end of this lockdown. We will soon get back to them, but we have finished everything. Okay. So now even if we call them, there is no school to give them admission.
Okay. Ugochi talked about fake news from River State. I think we've addressed that earlier from what we said. Let's take more calls. Hello? Hello, tell us who you are, where you're calling from, and go ahead.
Good morning.
Hello, yes, good morning.
Dr. Mauleba.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Go ahead.
Thank
please. You.
this lockdown.
Yes, please.
All right. This lockdown is an opportunity for those who are awake. Our mind is not on lockdown. The internet is not either. The ICT facilitates the exchange of digital goods around the globe. Everybody must adapt to current realities and dynamics. People have to be cautious because a lot of fraudsters have infiltrated the internet just to defraud innocent citizens. Let's make good use of the internet. This lockdown has given us ample opportunity to think about ourselves and come out with a grand strategy and productive plans to stem the tide. It shall be well with us.
Amen.
Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much. Amen. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, please. Your location and your name, please.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I'm Chief Charles Obio. I'm calling from my hometown, Umweko, Worenkwochi.
Go ahead, Chief Charles.
It's really unfortunate that Nigeria has been made a consumer nation as far as technology is concerned. And because of this, I'll just say that it needs sensitization, education, and enlightenment of the populace to make sure. Hello?
Yes, please. We're here. We can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
All right. So I'm saying that it needs sensitization and enlightenment and education of the populace. As far as we have been made a consumer nation and we don't want to produce all those things as far as technology is concerned. Because by now, Nigeria is supposed to be using technology, computer technology, to do all these transactions like population census, elections, and even buying and selling in our markets. Like this time around, COVID-19 is around the corner. We were supposed to be using it in this way. So I'm saying that before we do all those things, we are supposed to be sensitized and educated so that Nigeria becomes literate, computer literate in all these things. So we are saying thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes. Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yes. Good morning. Please go ahead.
I am Mr. Okay.
Go ahead.
I am Mr. Olakelani calling from Abeokuta.
Olakelani.
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
You see, ICT, though good, it brings all forms of criminality. How do you think we can curb this? That is one. Apart from that, I want to suggest that those who make use of Facebook should make use of their intuition as to whether to transfer an information to friends or not to transfer. These are my submissions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we can now get a response from the DG NITDA. So many, quite a number of issues, new issues have been raised. Opportunity to tackle fraud. I think it even happens to be the major issue here, cybercrime. What's the situation?
The National Digital Economy Strategy and Policy has digital society and emerging technology as one of its key pillars. Likewise, at NITDA, cybersecurity is one of our strategic priority. So cybersecurity mostly is about what we call social engineering. Means someone will trick you and get some information from you before he gets something out of your bank account or maybe your email and so on and so forth. So awareness is the most important when it comes to addressing cybersecurity. You need to be aware of your information, what you can share and what not to share. At NITDA, we issued the Nigerian Data Protection Regulation, which is basically about data privacy and data protection. Before someone do anything bad on internet, he needs to have your personal information. either your bank details or maybe your email account or something related, or even your social media password before he can have access to it. So there is many ways they use to trick people to get that information. So people need to be aware there are things that you never share with someone on mobile phone or on internet, no matter how convincing that person is. Because someone will call you, I'm calling from so bank, I check your account, this and that, I need your number.
Very terrible.
Yes.
Okay.
So people will sound convincing, not knowing that they are trying to take advantage of that and get information from you to hack your account or your email address.
Okay.
So the most important thing is know what you can share and what not share. And sometimes even sharing our life on social media, some criminal use it, because some people will see, I'm traveling to so place. As you enter car, you snap yourself, share on Facebook. As you do this, you buy new car, you share
and tell them
new
the
house.
location. I'm now in Kaduna, Abuja Expressway.
So you are exposing yourself, and also you are showing material things online. People will try and find a way to get you. So we need to be mindful of what we share online. We need to be mindful of the kind of information we share with any other person.
Okay. In a few seconds, because we want to take messages from our social media handles now, but in a few seconds, can you talk about the need for us to have more companies, indigenous companies in Nigeria, producing ICT hardware and software? What's the situation?
Surely there is need for that. On the 4th of April, I inaugurated advisory committee based on the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami directive that we should engage the Nigerian tech ecosystem, because we need to create jobs and we need to protect jobs in this sector. Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari G7 has promised to uplift 100 million people out of poverty. And if you look at it, the way we are going, the trends, the only way you can achieve this is through digital economy.
Okay. All right. Let's just take our messages now from our social media handles. We have hello, good morning, sir. I am Abubakar from Katsina. I may like to ask on the issue of scholarship. Okay, this was the same person who tried to reach us earlier. Lawan Abba Liman, he's watching from Maiduguri. Okay, thank you. Muhammad Ahmad also is watching from Niger State. Abubakar Bashir Solawa, I may like to ask on scholarship program. We have done aptitude tests 3 months back. Up till now, nothing as outcome. Thank you. Okay, Abubakar Bashir, I think it's this one of the callers who reached us earlier. Ovuna Dickland, Ali Kenko in Ebony says, I wish to ask how many citizens of this country have computer operating system, and even if they have, how of them or how many of them can operate it. Meanwhile, I think the federal and state government should map out a plan to educate Nigerians. Let's quickly take more calls now, then we'll still come back for messages. Hello?
Okay, can I address this one?
Hello?
Let's just
Hello?
Then we'll quickly take
Hello?
Hello, yes, good morning. Go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Odaze. I'm reaching you from Ila, Delta State.
Okay, Odaze.
Good morning to our guests in the house. Sir, I must say that when we talk of technology in this part of the world, I have my reservations, especially when it comes to my country, Nigeria. Somehow we've had perverted values. We've not given technology the prominence and importance it deserves. Especially now that everyone is going digital, how many Nigerians are computer literate to start with? It's basically the elite and those in the cities. Go to the core rural area. You hardly see these Android phones there. Where you see them, there is no light, no power. No power. You can charge your phone. Even the small chinko phones we use. We have to wake up. I'm sure this COVID-19
is going to wake up the human being in us, the ambition to meet up with the entire universe. That's why everyone is kind of overtaking us. We must work on our education. Education.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for calling. Hello, good morning. Okay, while we wait for calls, you can respond. I know you wanted to respond to the issues raised here, then the calls.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think the only one I'm going to address is the last one on the how many citizens of this country have computer operating system. When you talk about computer system this day, it doesn't mean only your desktop, your laptops. Even our mobile phones, our smartphones are computer systems.
Okay, so on its own, it can serve that.
It can serve, because for me now, I don't need to use my laptop. I use my mobile phone to do whatever I want to do. I process my emails, I compose my messages with it, I do whatever I want to do, I browse with it. Then as of January this year, there were 113 million Nigerians who have access to internet on daily basis. And with this COVID-19, I'm sure that has increased. That means over 50% of Nigerians have access to computer and internet. Likewise, like I said before, our population is our competitive advantage. We have a youthful population, and most of our youths, they have smartphones and they use it to access internet. So therefore, we do a lot in terms of digital literacy on how people they can use it.
Okay. Based on your, I believe you're doing an assessment of how Nigerians respond. Now, within the last 4 weeks or so, this lockdown has made many people to now go to use their phones the more because they're at home. Based on your assessment, what is the viability of this sector based on the number of people that are now using ICT? Can you give us some numbers as well?
Numbers of what?
That's the rise now of people using their phones, access to internet to either work from home or to do their businesses, just like you talked about Zoom earlier.
Yeah, I don't have the number for Nigerians at the moment, but we are working on getting it. But if you look at it, this COVID-19 it has a hidden opportunity for the technology, or I can say the silver lining in it is digital economy. People are going digital, people are embracing the technology, people are learning how to use it. I know people that don't use computers before, but now they are learning how to use Zoom, how to get in touch with their colleagues at home, and how to keep the business up and running. So we are learning, we are having a fascinating insight into how technology or how digital technology can help us exit and recover from this crisis. And as a human, what worked for you and what helped you get out of crisis, that thing you can embrace it and use it after the crisis. What it means, digital economy will be the future or will be the main thing to look after in the post-COVID era.
Okay, let's take a few more messages from our social media angles. We have Saifulahi Yusuf Sabua watching live from Katsina State. Okay, thanks for joining us. Good morning all. My name is Farouk Amadou from Kogi State, but currently lives in Akwa Ibom State. Please, is it possible for FG to give us 2 days for us to go to our various states because there is difficulty outside now? Thank you. Well, I don't know. The DG can answer that for more relevant persons. Now, I am Omeye Sunday from Nsuka. Capacity building in ICT is still a far cry, and that's why we cannot develop technologically as expected. We are information We are in the information era. The agency should leverage with the international partners to boost this indispensable aspect of our life. We can't afford to be left out, okay? We've already addressed that. DG spoke extensively on that.
Mr. President launched the Digital Nigeria program on the 19th of March this year. The program is aimed at training all Nigerians on how to use digital technology. We are training them on digital literacy. It is digital for all. Digital for workers, digital for students, digital for women, digital for people living with disability. So we are going to train everybody, and the target is to make sure all Nigerians have the basic digital literacy they need to survive and thrive in a digital age.
Okay, let's quickly take one last message, one last phone call, then you respond and give your final words on the program. My name is Musa Alamin from Zoo Road, Kano. My contribution is I salute the Director General for his hard work. Secondly, I will advise him to focus more on young technologists. They can bring change to the society like me. I am an app developer, but I lack support. If NIDA will give me a chance to show my talents, my apps are very useful. Please try me, okay? I'm sure the DG will take note of that. Hello, do we have a call? Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of channels. We engage talented youths on this. Like I said today, the Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, is going to present prizes to the winners of our Nigeria COVID-19 Innovation Challenge. So I will invite you to join this kind of our programs. Just before the lockdown, we did one in Jigawa. We have many people from Kano and other part of the Northwest that attended the program. And before we did also in Kano. And you can keep in touch with us, either through NIDA, you can follow us. We advertise all our programs.
Okay, very quickly, can you give a final message to Nigerians as we close?
Yeah, thank you very much. My final message is this crisis this is not the first time humanity is tested with a crisis. We have passed through crises before. Of recent, we have seen the tsunami, we have seen the global financial meltdown. We heard about the Spanish flu, the Black Plague, and so on. So I believe we'll get over this as well. But the most important thing is we try to understand the hidden opportunity from this. From what is going on, I think the pandemic is accelerating trends shaping digital economy. So I urge you all to try and be digital literate, embrace digital technology for post-COVID era.
Thank you very much, Director General. That was the Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, Malam Kashifu Inua Abdullahi. I hope you would like to join us next time when we come calling.
Sure.
This is also to thank the production crew in person of the news producer, Conrad Labe and Hassan Hussein, online editors, Timothy Bamidele, ICT was Israel Chiokaha, studio manager was Prince Afonia Ugweze, our engineer was Hassan Usman, photographer Sadiq Saromi, cameras were handled by Fuluwa Oloyede and Chinedu Mmegwa, facilitator was Oluwada Milola Oni, the producer was Oledo Mbiwe, and not to forget the executive producer Sani Suleiman. Special thanks to the Director General of the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Mansur Liman. Join us next week for another edition of Have Your Say. I am Olayemi Daniel saying stay home, or stay safe rather. COVID-19 is a respecter of no man. See you next time. Goodbye.